Hats off to Coach Ryan and Arkansas State. They did a really good job coming in here and sticking to whatever game plan it was to get the victory. I didn't think we did a good job at all the last two games, and we started out the game really good at Old Dominion. We started out the game really good tonight, and then we just didn't play a full 40 minutes. And so we got to get back to doing that and give ourselves a chance to win. And so, but that's what happened tonight. But hats off to them. They did a really good job.
What is it that teams have done in the last two games, especially as far as just attacking the basket, that y'all haven't had the answer for that other teams weren't doing it? Like, what is the deal there?
We're inconsistent with keeping the ball in front of us. A ton of Chandler Jackson's points, and he's a super talented kid. He did a great job tonight. My hat's off to him. But we did not do a good job of keeping the ball in front of us. I thought we needed to do a really good job of getting back in transition and stopping the ball and loading to the ball, and we didn't do that. I thought we, again, started out really good. We did it early in the first half. Once the game started, that's how we got out to that lead. But you got to play 40 minutes that way. You can't just start off good and then relax and, think the game is just going to be handed to you, because it's not. And so the last two games, we just did a very poor job of keeping the ball in front of us and allowing guys to get into the paint. I think Old Dominion was 44 points in the paint. I'm sure it was similar to that tonight.
How worried are you about, there's a lot on Dorian and Devion and Jackson right now, just them having kind of running out of gas a little bit.
They are, man.
Is that happening right now?
It is. I mean, you could tell right there in the end, Arkansas State, really good team. But they got depth, and that's not something we have right now. I'm having to play Dorian too many minutes. But it's, because of the injuries, we have not many guys that can go in and do what he does. He has to play those minutes on the floor. And so, those guys are getting fatigued, Laverne and Dorian. So we just got to figure out, the ways to change up defenses. And, I've been trying to sub them out when I could and when I can. But, when you got those guys on the bench and those guys are your best players, they got to be on the floor. And so we just got to do some things differently. We'll figure it out. We've been adjusting all year. And, you got to have want to and you got to dig in. We got 3 games left. Last home game on Saturday. We got to turn the page. Texas State just won a big game at South. And now we got to get ready for them.
Did you think rebounding would be that much? Because y'all got a ton of offensive rebounds in this game and still got out rebounded by a lot.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas State does a good job of sending 4 guys to the glass. I think what put us out of position is not getting back and loading and being connected in transition. So when those guys did shoot and miss, whether it be a layup out of transition or a missed 3, because we were not connected, I think that allowed them to, kind of run free and not get boxed out. And so we just gave them too many second and third chance opportunities. But the biggest thing is keeping those guys out of the paint and keeping the ball in front of you and loading in transition. And the second half, they took off with getting downhill in transition. And, Jackson was the main guy in doing that.
You mentioned last home game on Saturday. How big is that for the team? Last time this season defending your home court.
Well, we need to finish out on a right note. These kids have been fighting all year, despite what they've been through. 2 weeks ago was on a 4-game winning streak, and so, we got to continue to just be positive. They've been resilient this whole year. Everything is still right there. It's anybody's, right there for anybody to win the conference tournament. And so, but we still got 3 games left. We got 1 game at a time. We'll get to go on the road and play Arkansas State again. But first and foremost is Texas State on Saturday. And we got to get some guys some rest and get them ready for Texas State.
Are y'all even, in how different is practice now at the end of the year in terms of just trying to preserve guys right now?
Yeah, you want to cut down practice, but it's still, you got some areas where we need to improve, and so, you're not practicing as long. And again, we don't have the depth that I would like to have. We don't have Jamiron, Joshua Lewis, or Sean Elkington. We don't have none of those guys out there. And so that can give these guys a breather, So it's still things that you got to work on to improve. It's not like you can't practice, but you just got to, cut it down some. And so obviously tomorrow will be just a mental day and a lot of film. We'll probably get some free throws in and some shooting, but, just a lot of film focusing on Texas State.